Hello, thank you and welcome all to this webinar on how to use Microsoft Teams effectively. First of all, we want to thank you all for participating to this Hackorona initiative. Really thank you for your time and then contribution to this effort. Today, I'm going to show you how you can leverage Microsoft Teams throughout this initiative. So I have my Teams client opened and I'm in the Hackorona organizations. I also have my web client opened so we can see how the experience is for a user that are on both, that use both of those clients. Right, so when you use Teams, that is what we call your me interface, right? Your me interface are things that are that pertain to you as an individual. So your me interface is going to be the rail trail on the right side here, right? So this is where you can see what are your activities, what are the chats that you currently have, the teams that you are a member of. If you want to call someone, you use the call buttons and any files that you will have upload to the systems. Hold on a second, sorry about this. Will be on your me interface. The we interface is this real estate that we have here. This is where we collaborate with others. When I go to the Teams, for instances, and I click to, let's say I click to the general channel on the Hackorona Teams. This is my we interface. This is where everything that I posted here is going to be shared with people, right? If I want to go on one-on-one, I need to go to the chat and have a one-on-one conversation with someone. But let's start from the beginning. When you receive your invitations, normally when you join a team, you first join organizations, right? What we've done, we create Hackorona organization, and we're using the freemium version of Microsoft Teams. But if you look at my screen here, I'm also a member of, obviously, Microsoft and different organizations as well. So the first thing that you want to make sure is that you are in the right organizations when you engage in a conversation, right? So I can switch between Microsoft and Hackorona if I wanted to. So first thing that I do to join the Hackorona Teams, first I join the organization, I click here, and now I in the organization. Now, an organization has teams, and teams does have channels. So it's really important to understand the nomenclature of this. So you first join an organization by using the top-down button here, and then you go to a team where you've been invited. And in those teams, we have different channels, right? So if I look here, in the team that I have, I was invited into the Hackorona teams, and then I decided to join the rest of the teams. One of the issues that we have right now is that on the client and on the website, if I want to join a team, we do not provide the ability for you to discover teams. But if you use your mobile phone as a client, you can discover teams by just going to the browse, right? If you go to the mobile phones and you go to the teams tabs, you will see that you have the ability to browse any existing team that have been created. So what I do when I want to create teams, when I want to join a team, because I know that most of the teams start with a T, I will go here and just click search T, right? Because I'm already a member of most of the teams, that's why you only show me the 3 teams starting with T that I'm not following up, right? So if you want to know what are the teams that are available on Hackorona right now, because most of them start with T, do this. And now if you have time, then you can go, one by one and try to figure out if there's any other teams that you may have missed on that. Unfortunately, we don't have opportunity today to browse and find those teams from the desktop and the web client. But on the mobile client, you can browse and find the teams. Right. So find your teams and then join the teams. Some of the things that you can do to really empower you while you drive a conversation into a team is that when I have a conversation, because what I'm seeing when I'm looking at some of the chat that I'm seeing on the team channel is that people most of the time create a new conversation, but there is no title, right? One of the key functionality of Microsoft Teams is that it's a threaded conversation. We want to keep a thread, right? So you make it easier for anyone that just joined the team to understand what's happening. So when you want to create a new conversation, my suggestion would be You see here, there is an A with a small pencil underneath. Use that. Right? So this will allow you to, hold on, I'm going to hide this first. So this button here allow you to have rich text editing functionality. And here you can actually add a subject to your conversation. So when you're looking for people to join your team, you can just say, hey, looking for developers, teams. Come on, Eric. Teams, let's say 44, for instances, and then ask your question. I'm looking for a developer that has XYZ skill set, and there's just one single thread. So all the developer that you're looking for that want to join your team or project manager can respond to that single thread. So it becomes easier for people to really see what's happening. So every time that you create you want to pose a question, right? Make sure you give it a subject at least. If you want to announce something that your team might be impactful for a larger community, a larger group, we have here the announcement tab. Now I can say, hey, I want to announce something. Yes, we have new voucher for Azure, right? You use this when you want to capture somebody's attention to someone. So when you have an announcement to make, I think it's better to use announcement. So the other one is for standard conversations that you want to start. But when you want to announce something to your team, use the announcement tab and then type your messages. I'm going to delete this. Another quick tip. When you respond to something, I've seen that most of you do that today, which is absolutely fantastic. Always reply within the chat. Don't create a new conversation, right? If I want to respond to what Tamar is saying here, I'm not going to respond from here. If I want to respond to that chat, I need to go here so that I stay within that conversation. So when you respond to something, don't create a new conversation. Always go back and reply from within that conversation, right? And again, when you reply, make sure you can use the extension so that you can add richness to your conversation as well. Delete that. Another thing that I do, because I am a member of so many teams. You look at this. Look at my team on the right, on the left side. I'm following all the teams basically. I'm on every single team that has been created. Some all of them. So it's difficult for me to keep track of all of those. So what you can do is that you can pin some of the channels that you need to monitor. As an ambassador, I need to know what's happening on the Ask the Mentor, on the team channels, on the idea channels, and Ask Ambassador. So what I did, I pinned those channels so that they're always available for me to see, right? So if I want to pin, let's say I want to pin an idea, for instance, I want to pin another channel. I go here, I will click data set. Okay, and then I come here, you see the three dots. The three dots are your best friends. When you don't know what to do on Microsoft Teams, if you see a three dot, click on it. There's always additional functionality that you can do through the dot. So if you see three dot on any single thing, you see here, yeah, I've got a three dot again. Everywhere you see a three dot, there are information that are valuable to you. So three dots are always your best friends. So if I'm here, I would say, data set, that's interesting to me. I want to know what's happening there. I don't want to be browsing to the team and find out. Let's pin that. And you will see that data set will come now on my pin section. So you can do the same thing for your team as well. So pin your channels, right? I can go to, let's say I go to team number one. Team number one only have general channel. I can say, okay, I want to know what's happening on this channel. So I can just say pin this one, and it will come on top. Now I'll see. So whatever people post on general channel team one will be on my shortcut. It's a way for you to shortlist it, to have quick access to your information, right? Now, I'm going to pause here for a few seconds to see there's no question on the chat window. Then, is anything that I need my attention on the chat window? Do I need to look at, let me just browse to the live comments.
Here, when someone raises a question, I'll make sure you know that.
Okay, perfect. All right, thank you for that. So going back here, right? So pinning your key channels is a good practice to do. At least you don't have to always scroll back and find your team to know where you are, right? So when I'm in the channels, now when I get to my WeSpace, the WeSpace is meant to be used for everything that the teams need, right? So one of the key rules that we do for Microsoft Teams, in Microsoft Teams, we're saying you should have less team and less channels. The tabs, you should have as many tabs as your team needs. Tabs are a way for you to bring into that team all the information that you need for your team to work. If you are on a GitHub, you bring GitHub here. If you work your Excel sheet, you can add an Excel sheet as a tab. If you have a project management tool that you're using, I don't know, Asana, Trello, you bring them here, right? If you have a Power BI dashboard that you want to measure to see what's happening on your project, you can bring them here. We have third-party application that we support that you can bring as tabs, right? So the goal is that if I'm a member of this team and if I want to know anything about what we're doing right now, I should be able to do everything from here, right? So teams, owners, make sure that you bring those experiences into your team. So, right, talk with your team, understand what are the documents that you guys are working most on, bring them here. First of all, obviously, upload those documents into your Microsoft, into your teams. Give it seconds. Oh, there's no document on this one. That's a bad example. Let me just look for one with documents. So make sure you have your document at least uploaded. And now when I have a document, again, as I mentioned before, 3 dots, your best friend. If you want to do what you do, click on the 3 dot here. What I can do, I can make this document a tab, right? So that it's always available for me to see. Absolutely powerful. So always try to use tabs as a bookmark for your team, right? Your team should not be asking, where do I find these documents? Where do I find this? It should be, especially if they use the document quickly, more often, it should be available to them through the tab. So for tab, go crazy. Add as many tabs as you want, as long as the tab makes sense to your group and your team. Once I'm in a team, I'm conversation tab, the post tab. So there's 2 ways we can communicate into the team. We can chat here, and it's available to everyone to see, but we can also meet, right? If you look here, oh, I've installed the Zoom, the Zoom button. Yeah, but you can meet. You can always meet into a team by clicking on the meet button, and it will add you and start a meeting for you. But it's going to be open meetings, which means that anyone on the teams can join that meeting. This is not a closed meetings. So any meeting that you do within the conversation is an open meetings for everyone to join. We don't have scheduled, closed door meetings available on the freemium version. If you want that functionality, we need to use the enterprise paid version. But for this version, we can do meetings, but it's going to be an open meetings. What
Eric,
you could,
if I may jump here, if you jump to the chat button,
yes,
you basically create a group with each other, not here on the chat. So
that's what I was going to do. So you can move to group. Yes, I was going to that. You can do a group chat as an alternative.
Exactly. Absolutely. Then you can do a video conference.
Exactly. Absolutely. That's the alternative. If you want to create, absolutely good point there. So what that was saying is that if you don't want to use the meeting channels, there is a way to do this. Right? Chat. And then I'm going to say I'm going to create a new chat. I'm going to bring it down into the chat. I'm going to bring into the chat. Right? So I have a V into the chat. Say, hey, testing group chat. So now I can also change the title. Again, you have to make your interaction always meaningful so people can understand what this is about. So group chat for the webinar. Instead of having people names, at least this group chat has a name now. Right? So we're all here, and now we have this button where we can, video call and just start a meeting. So I click here. Thank you. Excellent step. So now we can have this group chat happening. So you can have your team's channels for your main collaboration topics, but you can also create a separate group chat where you invite all your key members, give it a name as well to your group chat, and then do the same thing. And then now you can have those closed door meeting between your group chat. So if I click on this button, it should start a video conferences. I don't want to do that because I don't want to use that while I'm speaking. But yes, you get the point. Thanks for. Oh, Idan did start it. Okay. All right, there you are. Hey. So we're doing a group chat within the group chat. Thank you, guys. All right. So yes, this is a way to create a group chat. Oh, sorry. Now I have this. Return because I'm on the call. Right. So this is the way to create a group chat within your Teams members. Right. Again, because conversation meetings are open to anyone. Right. Because it's like having a meeting and having an open door. It's like being in your meeting room and the door is open. Anybody can just join and then enter that meeting. That's the principle there. If you want to have separate meetings, do what we just did for that. Right. So we talk about the team. So we talked about use of tabs to really leverages and then bring all your experiences in one platform. We talked about how you can converse between yourself, right? Always reply to an existing chat. Don't create a new conversation for responses. Make sure you click on the reply button, right? So when you do something, if you see 3 dots, click on 3 dots. It's always your best friend. All of the key functions are going to be on the 3 dots. You can also bring third-party application into a team. So we have a library of application here. If I click on the, left bottom, we have different type of application that you can bring into your teams. I saw that a lot of you guys use Zoom for communication, for instances. You can bring Zoom into your team, so you don't have to create a Zoom meeting outside of Microsoft Teams. So you can create your Zoom meeting within your teams, right? So it's a Zoom meetings, but it's happening within the same team interface. So you can do that. You don't have to, let's talk. You don't have to talk on Teams, and then for your meetings, you go outside of your meetings and then speak on Microsoft Teams and speak about project on Zoom. One of the key goal of Team is that it keep all those threaded conversation in one places. So if you can also have your meetings in that same places, that would be good for you, at least to understand, how you work into the program through other processes. Yes. So if you have any third-party application that you want to use, before you use them outside of Teams, come to the apps to see if they're not available there. We have a search bar here, search button here. You can search for applications, search for them here. If they're not there, yes, then go outside Teams. But ideally, you should be able to do your entire work within Microsoft Teams. That's with the vision of Microsoft Teams. It's supposed to be your new operating system. So always make sure you check that they're here. And then if they're not there, yes, then go outside. But again, when you go outside, there will be some context switching, information that gets saved on a third-party application. So when you do that, if you have a Zoom meetings and there are Zoom meeting notes that are taken, bring those notes back into Microsoft Teams, right? So make sure you have one single places where you can track your entire Teams endeavor within that within Teams. All right, so we talked about Teams. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to look at one of the teams. So what we also noticed is that a lot of teams are not really active. So if it's really good to engage your team within Microsoft Teams. So please discuss within Microsoft Teams. As I mentioned before, when you have discussions that are offline, try to bring them back into Teams, at least to keep that thread going. Another thing that I really want to bring to your attention is that every time, and I've seen people doing that, right? So when you want to bring something to somebody's attention, make sure you mention them or the group. So if I do now I can mention the entire team. Don't do that all the time. This is to be used with caution, right? When you do this, you understand the entire teams. Or you can mention, let me see if we have this tag. Yes. What we call tag, right? So there's 2 ways to mention a group of people into Microsoft Teams. You can mention the channels or the teams, or you can mention a tag. The good thing about tag is that when you mention through the tag, it only notifies the people that have been tagged with that tag. If I mention the mentor, then all mentor will be notified. But if I ask the mentor, then the entire channels is being notified. Right? You understand the differences, right? So mention the channel or the team, notify everyone, even those who might not want to see what you're trying to notify them about. So you notify everyone. If you really want to target your notifications, try to use tag. A tag, you will find a tag will have a name here. See, this is a tag. The tag is different from a channel. So when you mention something, you will see here, and this is an individual tag. This is a team or a channel tag. So it clearly mentioned here what you're trying to do, right? So I would always recommend that if you want to reach out to mentors, it might be better for you to tag them through the mentor tag, right? If you want to notify the thing, try to find another tag, for instances. But if you want to mention the channels, please, let's do that. All right, so at mention, absolutely powerful. Make sure you use that. Another thing that might be worth mentioning is, yes, when you do a text, if you think the text is important, use the important mark here, and then that post will be marked as important. You will have a red button next to it, right? So if you have something that you believe is important, yeah, mark it as red. Do that. Let people know that this is important. You want their attention. So when I do a high edit, I can hyperlink. All of those are supported. So yes, when you have important messages, make sure you tag them as important so people can see that there's something that requires their attention. This is on the teams. Now let's go back to the activity. Let's start from the beginning. So when you normally start your day, you should start your day on activity. Activity will tell you what has happened while you were away on the teams or channels that you follow, or if somebody notify you, if somebody had mentioned you, you're going to see them all here. So rather than going to your team and try to understand what happens in your channels, I would suggest that you start your day by going to your activity feed, right? And activity feed, I can also filter that. I can say, I just want to see, people that react to my teams, right? I don't want to see, oh, I have zero reaction. Wow, okay. Come on, guys. You have to react to my tweet. Okay, there was no reaction. Okay. I need to see, replies. Okay, I got one reply today. I need to see if somebody had mentioned me. Yeah, I got few had mentioned as well, right? So I can just say no filter, give me all the activity that happened that I may have missed. And then from here, I can just look at my activity. So you go there one by one, and it will take you directly to the chat. I go here, now I'm on Team Ambassador. I can see what's new there. And because I already read them all, that's why they're not bold. When something is on red, it will be bold. Let me see if I have any on red. No, I already read them all. So that's why you see them red. So when you log into Microsoft Teams, first it should be to go to activity to see if there's anything that requires your attention right there and there. And then move on to the different teams to see what you want to, to discuss and work on, right? So activity feed is pretty powerful. Another thing that you can do that's very powerful is the search, right? So a lot of things that you might be asking when you join the team, because, let's say you joined yesterday, you're still new to the entire processes. A lot of those might have already been answered before. So we have a powerful search button. So I can say, okay, I've seen a lot of people asking about, Azure credit. I can just say, hey, credit. Let me know what's happening with credit. Right? And now I can see here all the chats that already happened using Azure credit. Right? I don't have to go back and repost the same question. By just using the search, I can easily find out, hey, there's an FAQ on this that explains what to do. And then off you go. Right? So use the search. It's quite powerful. You can also search people. I want to know, what is Eric talking about? I see Eric all the time. Let me see. Right. So you see all the posts that I post on the channels. And then you can also look for me directly by going to people. Oh, you did not find a match. I need to check what is happening. You should find me. But this is me. So you see all the chat that that I've been part of. Right. So please use the search bar before you ask a question, because most of the time your question might already be posted by someone. Or move to the FAQ and ask your question on the FAQ chat channels. Another cool thing that you can do is using the add button on the search bar. Right? If I use the add button on the search bar, it shows me all of the things that I can do. If you want to watch a YouTube video, for instance, or I just want to get the news, let me get the news. Let's not go to YouTube. I can say add news. Oh, I need to add it. 1 second. All right, and I want to see, yeah, tell me what's happening with the Corona virus. Yeah, and right there and there, I got a small daily brief of what's happening with the coronavirus. I don't have to go and open Bing News or Google News. I can just look for my news from here, right? So you do that by just starting at. I can also do at stock if you are, if you're tracking your stock as well. So you need to add the application first, and then I can just say, hey, let me know what's happening with Microsoft at the moment. And then there you go. You can see that right there and here. So it's really, really powerful tool. It allows you to do whatever you want to do within the same interface. I think another one that I can show you, I don't know if it's working, is the weather forecast. Yes, let me see what happened with the weather forecast. Add the application first, okay, in Israel. How's it going right now? There? Okay, it's in Fahrenheit. So, all right. So you see, so the toolbar, the toolbox bar here is not just used for search. It can also use to do some really thing powerful. So you can use the @ for applications. Another thing that you can use is the /back, right? So now, if I want to see all of my activities, instead of going to my activity feed, I can just come here and say, hey, activity, let me know, what's happening. Be done. I want to know what he's been doing. Boom, and I have all his activity right here from there, right? I can use this as well to chat with someone, right? I want to chat with Idan quickly. I don't have to go to the chat button. And then, hey, there you go. So it's not just a search bar. It's a combo bar. You can do a lot of multiple things, right? So when you want to, so you can actually spend a lot of your time just being on that bar. So please use that bar. It's pretty powerful. First for searching what you need to search, but if you want to use advanced functionality, /back, and you will see all the things that you can do, right? I can just by one click. What just happened? Are you sending me something, Idan? Idan send me something. Yeah, it's good to be the king. Yes, I agree, my friend. I agree. All right, I can also, say, hey, Idan has been sending me texts. Let me just put myself in D&D. Don't disturb me. So now on D&D, no more text from Idan. I'm good. You start, you say to do not disturb. You're not going to get any notification. And I did this all from the dashboard, right? Another way I could have done that, I could have done this by going here and changing my status. So I'm going to put myself back to available. So you can change your status by clicking on your profile, change your status, do whatever you want to put the status. But again, as I mentioned here, you can do this straight from the dashboard as well, from the search box. Now, in terms of your own features as a user, if I go here, click on settings, I can decide to use the default theme of Microsoft Teams. I'm using I prefer the dark version, but you can change that as well. You want to auto start, open background. So you have all those features that you can configure for your applications. How you want to be notified, right? You want to receive a notification every hour. So, you want notifications as soon as they come, every 10 minutes. How do you want to get those notifications to you? So you can also customize those, right? Some people don't want to be notified, because it can become a notification. So you can overwhelm them. So you can say, okay, I just want to have a daily digest of all, notifications. I would myself go and monitor what's happening. Or you can just say, no, I want to know what's happening. I want that as soon as possible. How you want to be notified? You want the sound be playing on your laptop? I can have a sound plays and stuff like that, right? So go to your profile, settings, and then look at the settings, and then customize that for your, Teams is meant to be personal. So use it the way you want to use it. Customize it. Use it the way that makes sense to you. So that's how you can customize your Teams application to reflect how you want to operate with it. I'm going to pause here for a few seconds. Idan, any questions on the chat window? Are we good?
I think we're good. I
We're still
don't
good.
see any questions.
Okay. Am I being very super clear, or people are confused?
No, actually, I actually learned some new stuff here.
Okay.
So
All right.
you're amazing.
Okay, perfect. So let's keep carry on then. So we look at the activity, we look at the chat, we look at Teams. So let's go back to Teams, because Teams is where you're going to spend most of your time, right? So this is where your teams communicate. If I go to this, let me pick a team what I'm a member of. Another thing that I just want to quickly show is that obviously you do not see this because you do not have team owners, but we have, the team owners, have ability to see what's happening on those teams. So we can see how engaged the teams is. And then what I can see is that obviously the Hackorona team is the most engaged teams, not surprising. But we have teams with, very little posts. So, and we have teams that are super engaged. So team 22, that's pretty good. Please keep doing that. We have, so we can see what's happening on your teams as well. So the level of engagement is important. I know that we might be doing some work outside, but again, use teams to really, really create an engagement into into your team. It can really be helpful, especially when you're going to be, try to understand what happened going forward. Right, if I go to the teams, this is a new team that has been created. As I mentioned, first thing you need to do, please add tabs that are relevant to you. A good practice as well might be to create another channels, right? Because every single team that you create has a general channel. Every teams, and you cannot change that. You cannot change the name. You can't. This is the default team that comes when you create a new teams. So imagine you're looking to you go here and you search for general. What's going to happen? You're going to receive 45 or 46 responses back because every team has a general channel, right? So try not to use general channel for you to communicate, right? It should mostly be used for announcement or for special thing that you want to make your team aware of, and create meaningful channels underneath, right? A developer channels, a project manager channels, or ideas channels, right? Create those channels and have those conversations in those channels. Keep the general channels only for information, because if you do everything within the general channels, it will become very difficult for you to search. When you search for information, it's going to give you all the general channels that are available into the, and we have a lot of teams right now, so it's not going to be really convenient, right? So general channels as best practice is mostly for announcements. Hey, we have a new member into the team. Welcome to the team. This is what the team is about. This is what we expect from you. This is it. Discussion about the project should be on a different channel. So I will encourage all the team owner to review the way they have organized the teams and then set up those channels. I've seen few, you see team 44, for instance, team 43, for instance, has done that. So they have different teams that they have created for a different topic. That's pretty good. So this is how you should do that. A lot of teams only have one channel, which is the general channel. That's not a really good practice, right? Keep these really just for information sake, right? Create your channels that can be based on a topic that you want to discuss with your team members. It will make it easier, especially when you start looking for those information, right? If I'm searching, as I mentioned, for general, then everything is going to come up because every single team has a general channels, right? So keep that in mind as you engage with your teams in your respective teams as well. We have ability to make calls as well, so you can do one-on-one calls, right? We don't have the PSTN calling available here because it requires licenses, but you can do P2P calling, right? You can initiate a P2P calling from the chat. So when you're on the chat, I can call you from there, or I can come here and call someone. So both options are supported, but this is just P2P calling. This is not PSTN calling. I cannot call a mobile phone from here because the platform does not support it. Team does support PSTN calling, but you need the licenses to allow that to happen, right? So in our cases, I think living on the chat should be enough, because you can, from the chat, I can just go here and then call or video call someone, right? Another good thing that we can do is that in the chat, we can also share your screen. We can be on the chat right now and I can share my screen with you then, right? Without having to create a meeting. You don't have to create a meeting for this to happen. So you can just say, hey, let me share my screen with him, and then there we go. Screen gonna be shared. So really, really powerful tools for you to use, right? So remember, your me interface and your we interface. So your me interface is everything that happened to you is here on the left. So start your day here, activities. What's happening to me? What's happening to my team that I need to be aware of? Let me look at them, review them all, right? If you want to speak to someone, okay, make a decision. Is this a one-on-one chat, or would that be better served if I put that in a post conversation for everybody else to see? So always think about those, right? Some chat might not be required to be on a post chain. It might be a one-on-one. A one-on-one might be better. I've seen people contact me one-on-one sometimes because they have a question that's just not going to benefit everybody else, which is great. But if you think that your question can benefit the wider community, it's better to put them on a post. But if you think this is something that is only applicable to you, that it's not going to help people for them to know, then you go P2P. So always look at those when you make your decision on what to use, chat or post, right? Post is on a we side of things. Chat is more of a me side of things. Make that decision first. Your project, I can't emphasize that enough. Your project, collaterals, conversation, meeting note, everything should be able to be logged with the Microsoft team. You should find a way to have all of those here into your team, so that when we wrap up this, it will be easier for you to easily come back and see what has happened since you start your project, all the conversation, all the file that you've exchanges, all in a single places. No need to exchange email or file to find those. So leverage that. It's absolutely fantastic. Again, as I mentioned, if you're looking for an application and you might think, hey, we don't have it, first go to apps. and you're going to be stunned. We have 250 applications ready on Microsoft Teams stores, right? So you probably going to find what you're looking for or something similar into the store, right? So if you look for something, go there first and add it to your team and use them. What else can I mention as super users? So we talk about chat, we talk about group chat, we talk about meetings. So into the meetings. So let's try a meetings to see the meeting experiences as well. So I'm just gonna, yeah, I am. I'm going to a meetings right now, just to show you the meeting experience. Meet now. Hello. Yeah, I hope I'm still audible. Okay, some of the cool thing that we can do with our platform. Video isn't working, we can use your webcam or video. Yeah, of course, it's been used for somebody else. So, we have some cool background effect that I'm not going to show because my video is not working. So we're going to scratch that. Not a good examples. But yes, but the video experiences, what we do for Microsoft Teams is that when you do meetings with Microsoft Teams, before your meetings, we allow you to check your headset to make sure that your headset is working properly. You can make a text call like we used to do for Skype consumer. You can have a test call, echo 1, 2, 3, and it will tell you that, okay, your device is good to go. And you join your meetings. Before you join your meetings, you can also, for some of the users, they can customize the background as well or blur the background. And you get into the meetings. You can do some whiteboarding onto the meetings, right? We have whiteboard support as well, so you can do whiteboarding onto the meetings. Again, I appreciate, and I'm not trying to sell, Teams meeting over Zoom. This is not what I'm trying to say, but I'm just saying that those are available to you to use. If you want to use team meetings, all those functionality are available for you to use right out of the box. If you are more, at ease with Zoom or WebEx, please use. This is not a conversation. We're not trying to sell you Teams over the other tools. So if you want to use the other ones, use them. Again, use them with the Microsoft Teams. But what is great is that, as you see here, is that my meetings is there. Right? The note as well that I'm going to that I should have taken, I'm going to be on the same conversation channel. This is what I'm telling you. The entire life cycle of your project is going to be maintained into that conversation post. So great way for you to keep track of what's happened if you use Microsoft Teams. So let me see. Did I forget anything to mention? Oh yeah. Right. I can also unpin my if I don't want to see the chat, I can unpin it. Right. I can just say, hey, I don't want to see the chat on the left side. Boom, chat is gone. Right, but it's still there. It's not disappearing. I just unpin it. If I want to see it back, what do? Again, the 3 dots as your best friend. I click on the 3 dots, and then my chat is there. Bring it back. Bring it back. I want my chat back. Yes, and then chat is back again. So pretty powerful, right? So if you don't want to see, let's say you're not using the call, you're not using call. I'm not using call for the moment. I'm just saying, hey, remove this. I don't need to see this on my rail here. I can unpin it and just only keep the one that I need. Or I can bring Zoom because I'm using a lot of Zoom. I don't want to see Zoom. I want to see Zoom on my, that's it. And Zoom become available to me right here. So I can join a Zoom meeting. I can start a Zoom meetings right from here. There's a Zoom chatbot that's available. Hey, start meetings, and then off you go, right? So customize is the way that makes sense to you, and then use them as you see fit. We've also now, I need my chat back. Sorry. I need my chat back. Please come back. Yeah. So what we also allow, if you can see here, is that I can also pop up a screen, right? Because some of the issue that we have is multitasking. So I can pop up this. So I have this as a pop-up windows. So I can be talking to it down here, but I still have my main interface open. Hey, next thing, chat pop-up. Are you still good? Yeah. So we can have a chat happening on the side while I'm still using my main interface, and then the pop-up will stays open, while you're discussing with your on your interfaces. So yeah, so a lot of things to do on Microsoft Teams. So I'm not too sure what else I can mention here. Or if there are questions on the chat window, I'm happy to take them now. I am available on the Hackorona Teams. My name is Eric Moneyeng. feel free to tag me if you have any question about how to use Teams effectively. I'll be happy to answer them. But if you have questions right now on the chat window, let's take them. Idan, anything on the chat window that we need to take right now? Hello? Am I still talking to someone? Are you still there?
No, there's nothing in the, no questions in the chat.
No question. That's fantastic. So either I was super clear or super confusing. Either way, thank you very much for your attention. As I mentioned, I'm available on the team side, so please add me.
Thank you. I personally learned a lot. Wait, Idan sent you a question, I see.
Ah, yes. Sorry. This is about the process itself. Okay. Thank you, Idan. I forgot to mention this. Yes.
Also, someone asked in the chat if you can have a cool background as well.
Okay.
Sorry?
If you can have a cool background.
Yeah, that's not available to all today. I can have it. We have it on our tenant, but it's not available. It's not globally available, but it's coming for everyone. Today you can blur your background, but you cannot have a customized background yet for all. It's available for me. I can do it on my tenants. I can change what you see on the back end if you want. Microsoft Team meeting for this to happen. Yeah. So background change is possible, but just on meetings. But it has to be a team meetings, right? And it's not globally available today, and it's coming.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So Idan mentioned that, when people join the teams, so the first thing that we're asking you to do is to let me go to Teams. I'm going to go back to Teams. You have to go to the idea in the idea Teams, right? We have a file here that is available. There were a few people that has issue accessing the file. If this is still happening, please let us know on the chat windows. We will see what's happening there. But that's how you should do. You should go here and then open the ID and team files. Again, the real power of Microsoft Teams, right? I'm opening this within Teams. I'm not opening Excel outside of Microsoft Teams. It's all happening here. You can obviously open this outside if you want to, but yeah, again, the power of Teams is that I can have my entire work happening within the interface. It's the new operating system. Right, so you come here and then you provide your, sorry. Yeah, so you need to fill this table with your, the name of your teams, who's going to be the team leaders, who are the potential team members, what is your ideas about, right? And then you put that there, and then you add mentioners, you add mentors, and if we're going to go and create the teams for you accordingly, right? So when you join the teams, if you have an idea, go to the idea team into Microsoft, into the Hackorona teams. So I would strongly recommend that you have this pin as well, right? Just to see what's happening on the channels. You should come here first, and then you either go to the files or go straight to the tab, because you made it as well as a tab. You just click to the tab. That tab is nothing more than this Excel sheet that was created as a tab. Click on this, add your information, right? And then you can now go to Teams and say, hey, I'm Eric. I've done my details on the ID and Teams. Can you please check and then create the teams for me? So when you come here, you explain what the teams is, what the ID is. One of the mentor will go and then create that teams for you. We do not allow you at the moment to create your own team. So yes, done by the mentor. Sorry, this is work from home. I have someone who tried to enter the room, so sorry about that. Yes, right. So that's the process. But again, we're here to support you, right? We understand that it's not always easy for everyone to navigate this. But if you have any question, again, feel free to ask us. But as I mentioned, search is pretty powerful, right? Always start with the search, and you're going to be amazed by what you can find, right? Because this is really it's a trade conversation that is persistent. We're keeping all those conversations within Microsoft Teams. So it's going to be there. They're going to be available for you to review. So search first. Second, ask the mentor, and then we will take it with you. Idan, does that clarify or anything that I missed?
Wow, that was really, really good, actually. So that's a really good session about Teams. I learned a lot of things, and I use Teams on a daily basis. So that's really cool. So I think if we don't have any questions so far, we can jump to talk a little bit about what we have today. So today we have another webinar at 6 p.m. on GMT+2. We also sent you some emails So check out your email box. We want you to get some swag. We want you to get some. We have some coupons for you. So go ahead and check out your email.
And pizzas as well.
Sorry.
And pizzas.
And pizzas. Yeah, the first thing. Actually, you know what? Let's share the picture. Do you have it? Oh yeah. Do you have the picture of the team that got the first pizza? Oh yeah.
I don't have it.
Okay, let's share it.
Go to the teams.
Okay. Anyways, we have a picture of the team that got the first pizza last night, and we really want to send you more pizzas. We have a lot of money to send you pizzas, so go ahead and we're only sending pizzas for those who already have a team. So I encourage you to run over to team, create your own team, start working as a team, and you'll get a pizza. One last thing, we're already here in the Facebook page to help you guys on board teams. So if you're struggling with joining the teams, if you don't know how to do it, if you find some issues, or you couldn't find the email, check out your spam box as well. We will be in the teams and the Telegram groups to make sure you successfully join the teams. And I guess that's it for now. So Eric, thank you very much for being here. It was a pleasure to have you here with us, and your session was really good. Well, obviously, this is part of your job. You're talking about things every single day.
Obviously.
Not surprising. Eric is also our team's ambassador. If you have questions to Eric, you can also tag him personally or using the team's ambassador. And I guess that's it. Eric, again, you're awesome,
Thank
and
you.
we look forward more teams joining. We postponed the
Sure thing.
teams nomination Sunday, so you have more room to set up your own team. Go ahead and check this out. We want you to create some great projects, and we also announced some. We're going to be announcing some prizes. So go ahead and check this out. Check our website, and we'll keep you posted.
Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you very much, Idan.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.